Hello everyone! Time to do another Show Me Your Build, and before we start, and to any other participant that I'm not covering, keep in mind, you can't just re-enter the next one. The fact that I didn't cover your set, or one of your set, does not mean that you can't. However, I do want to point out one thing. The rules I've laid out here are there to be read. Please read them before posting, because at least all of the people I wanted to add, they just didn't follow shit. Like, I'm not changing the color of the art so I know it's not unit builder. Like, specifying the Ivy set. As a matter of fact, one or two of them it was someone else telling me the set they had because I couldn't be bothered to check myself. This week has been pretty hard on me because I had to do an update video for the Refine. I had to do an update video for the Sacred Seal. I had to do a banner review. I had to set up a new way to basically check rates of banners. And then on top of that, I had to show me your builds right after the last video. And on top of that, I had to record every day a Abyssal map fucking clear, which I have to still do the thumbnails off. It's going to take forever, but oh well. So, amidst all of this, on top of that, you're telling me, check the IVs for me, I can't be bothered. Yeah, no. Okay, just no. Stop it. But anyway, we're here to cover sets, so I suppose we will here. Alright. Boy, okay, so let's start here with this Summer Elise. This is P plus Res minus from SCF. SCF also known as Some Crazy Fellow. Now SCF was saying, let me just try to find it. Arena Special, fairly self-explanatory. Water Sweep is there to help deal with Grima's and other pesky dragons. Everything else fairly explanatory. I'd give her Attack Tactic if I had any other golds. Same for Wind Sweep if I had a spare Wind Sweep people. Alright, to this I must say, Wind Sweep and Water Sweep are not a bad idea if you don't have the bulk, but you do have the bulk because of G-Dual Infantry. You have to realize that you have 5 more bulk as a result of G-Dual Infantry. 45 HP and 22 def is 67 bulk. Unless the Grima is buffed, you're actually tanking him already. Let alone any other dragons. Now, Myr might be a problem. That much I will agree. I'm talking about Halloween Myr here. But if you remove Halloween Myr, I don't think Water Sweep actually helps you at all. At this point, you should just run Desperation. As a matter of fact, since you run a 300 SP skill slot, you can actually run a 200 B slot without losing any score. So Desperation is 100% fine here. You can actually run it pretty safely. The only people that are going to be, obviously, dangerous to deal with will obviously be, you know, the usual Zelgius, etc, etc. But if it's an enemy that's green, usually you'll be able to have the bulk to tank it. Pretty safely, actually. So, there's no reason to really gimp yourself and cut your attack to only 1. And be basically useless on any other matchup that aren't dragons. Unless that's the goal and what you're aiming for is to just lower the HP of the enemy so your bonus unit can just bonus meme his way to victory. But other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a +4 speed and attack set. It works. It definitely works. I really wish Kadomatsu had a tome variant, because that effect would be really good here for a bonus unit. 1 attack, 1 speed it's something, but it's nothing to really write home about, so, you know. Not much else to say here. It's pretty self-explanatory, as I said. The only thing I would change is just the B slot. Let's move on to Neko's Crom, if memory serves. Nope. just Yeah, this is Neko's crime. Or Sinners of Sinner. The person changed his name. Let's move on to that. Let's move after that. So my crime is speed plus HP minus. He is in a team with Frederick, was drive attack and drive speed. They are going to have a future S support together. Still don't have a Fire Season hero, but he's going to be on the Fire Season Arena team and AA team. For a slot, he has Brazen Attack Def, I'm going to guess. Yeah, Attack Def 3, Fury. Renewal, Attack Def Link, Spur Def, Spur Res, and Spur Def Res. This should be changed to a drive for sure. Any skill I should change to for Sacred Seals, Close Def, HP Res 2, Attack Def, QR3 is already taken. Okay, since you're using a sealed falchion and you went out of your way to run Speed Plus, I would say Brazen Attack Speed would definitely be a better choice for your ace slot, because with sealed falchion combo together, this is 43 speed already there, 46 if you run Speed Plus 3 as a seal. If you do not want to run Speed Plus 3 as a seal, you can always run Brazen Attack Res, adding even more attack to Crumb while also abusing the speed you get from Brazen Attack Speed. You'll have 43 speed as a result, and obviously your attack will skyrocket to 75. This is without Frederick in question. If you add Frederick to the mix, you'll have 78 attack and 46 speed, so, you know, definitely a better choice as a result. Everything else seems pretty self-explanatory, nothing else to really change. The seal, obviously, Spur Def Res can be better than a drive, actually, depending on the team you're using and depending on how you build Frederick. If you build Frederick as a tank, Spur Def Res will do better. Otherwise, a drive will do better. It comes down to just that. Don't think I have much else to say. It's definitely a really good set. And with Attack Def Link and Brazen Attack Res, though technically I would say Brazen Attack Res would be better, but that is not Brazen, but Attack Res Link. But that is not exactly available, is it? I don't think it's even in the game yet. But if Attack Res was in there, since you have Brazen Attack Res, you would have, what, 41 Def, 24, 41, 31, 41, 37. 41 defense and 37 res, 1 hurt. Seems good, TBH. Now, as it is, you have 47, 31, which still pretty good, with Brazen Attack Res active, of course. Definitely really good, and obviously I'm considering Brazen Attack Speed here. It's obviously still good, but it's a bit lopsided. Dragons will be a bit of a problem, but other than that, well, dragons will be a problem. You have a falchion, but you will take a good chunk of damage is the thing I want to point out, essentially. But yeah, pretty good set otherwise. So, let's move on to Melodon's young Tiki, and he says, if I can fucking find it, because that's always fun. Speed plus, HP minus Tiki. I want to turn her into a nightmare. I want people to hate their existence when they face her with dragon/tactic buffs. I just need a good set, preferably with good coverage and for tanking. I figured I would go for distant counter set or maybe her lightning breath. However, I'm not sure what set would make her the hardest to deal with. I am planning to plus 10 her next time she shows up on a banner. Please advise, I would love to hear your ideas. I've said this before, but the most cancer set most speedy dragon can run is, well, pretty straightforward, really. It's the usual Dark Breath Wind Sweep set. You'll want to run speed refine on her, obviously, because otherwise you won't have the speed for it. But Dark Breath in top of, obviously, Wind Sweep. Possibly Phantom Speed, because her speed will be a bit low. And what you end up having is Well, actually, no, you'd rather want quick riposte as a seal. But to go back to it, what you end up having is if they don't have enough speed and you attack them, they can't hit back. And then when they do attack, they have to deal with quick riposte, steady breath, and their stats are completely debuffed, at least in your hands. On the end of the enemy, if they have Bolt Fighter or something strong enough to take her down, they will. But it's gonna be still problematic depending on how they handle it. Dark Breath is a very annoying breath to deal with because you can't really just tank. And the higher you go in arena, the more reliant you are on that. Because you don't want you hardly want to go on the offensive the higher you go in arena for obvious reasons. You want to just tank the blow so you can take one enemy at a time instead of having to initiate, kill the unit, and then have to deal with whatever's behind the unit, because you can't swap, you can't repo, you just don't have any ways to get out of danger. But yeah, it's pretty annoying. Like I said, Wind Sweep, Dark Breath. For the A slot, Steady Breath can definitely work in combo with Quick Riposte, so if they do attack, they have to deal with basically Aether or Ignis. But yeah, I believe that's about it. Let's move on, shall we? This is Pokemon Legends Gwyndolin, a Def minus Rest plus Gwyndolin. Let me just go and find what they had to say. With the new Tempest Trial upon us, okay, I thought to bring back a particular unit that made me look into armored units. She is Res plus Def minus and also has her own armor for those teams. Attack and Def Refine for the weapon. The Sacred Seal will be replaced with Brazen Attack Res when I get it. I have 3 other copies of her when the time comes, and Glacis is an option if needed. Okay, so Ignis and Glacis are both good sets. Brazen Attack Def, Brazen Attack Res, so you can hit 58 attack on top of 43 Def and 42 Res. Definitely a good set, and the Brazen completely offsets the issue. The issue she runs into, which is just having too low attack to really use Bolt Fighter. IVs should definitely change. If you're planning on plus statting her, keep in mind speed plus HP minus are required to score as high as you can in arena. Other than that, I would say just go speed minus instead of def minus. There are plenty of units that will hit your defense stat, so keeping your defense stat as high as possible is definitely welcomed. Having less speed than usual won't really matter unless you run something like Wary Fighter anyway. That is if you don't go for speed plus HP minus for scoring. Now, like I said, speed minus rest plus is probably better for mixed tanking, so probably should be something you aim for. It will make your bulk 46-42, but it's pretty fun. It's still pretty fine. I'm not too sure about own armor, because unless you have Blade Tomes with Bolt Fighter, it's not really something I would recommend. Bolt Fighter with Blade Tome is really terrifying when you have something like own armor, but otherwise, it won't really help you. Obviously, Attack Smoke will definitely do much better at that point. Not much else to say though. The set is good. Not much else to... There's really not much to change here. So, let's move on to Lon'qu, and oh boy, Lon'qu. I'm surprised you haven't changed to the Solitary Blade at the very least, but... Okay, so Erica. By the way, Erica, you almost did not make the cut. The only reason you're here is because of SCF. If some crazy fellow did not just fucking figure out the IVs, I was going to say, ah, fuck it, let's just take someone else. No offense, my guy, but rules are there to be read. Oh, there it is. Been waiting to show him off. I'm a little disappointed with the refine, but oh well. I can't wait to use him in Arena next week. Aether is there for score mainly. He also has a ton of swords. Fire Sweep, Kadomatsu, Slaying, Wodao. and also has distant counter, life and death, and a bunch of double sprays. Oh boy. Okay, so Solitary Blade is a shit fucking refine, let's be honest, but the base weapon is definitely good. Something that's kind of funny is also this is attack plus res minus, but which is the thing I did not know until SCF figured it out for me. I will say, well, figure it out for me. I just didn't bother to check, I'll be honest. But something that's kind of funny about how Solitary Blade is, you end up having so much speed that you can actually just dump his speed and be completely fine after. Just so you can keep your bulk in both def and res as a result. Dealing with dragons becomes a bit easier as a result. Just thought I'd point that out. But otherwise, not much else to say. This is a good set, though I would say Desperation is probably better with something like Flashing Blade, so Aether can just, you know, proc more consistently. Other than that, I don't know. Desperation is definitely better than Vantage here, and you will score the same as a 240 SP skill as your V-slot because you have DC anyway. I would say, though, if you plan on using the Solitary Blade, Double Brazen is a great choice here, because you'll end up having 28 def, 25 res. Double Brazen means that you actually have more attack. Even if you go with the life and death refine, you end up having what? 23 def and 20 res? If you run Double Brazen, you hit 71 attack and 53 speed with this set. 73 fuck. 71 attack is definitely good enough, as is. But then you have 59 HP on top of it, so hitting Desperation becomes pretty consistent. 71 attack, on the other hand, is going to do you amazingly well. And if you have Desperation, well, you just break shit up. This is actually a set I'm planning on running on my own IRA, because we all know how good it is to have, you know, to be under 75% on an IRA build like mine. So how about building on that strength and adding an extra 14 attack on top of it? It's the same concept, really. You can do that. You can actually do it basically what she's doing with Glimmer as well, because she'll have a bit more attack than she does. So yeah. Oh yeah, actually 73 attack because it's 16 might weapon instead of 14 might weapon. Yep. 73-53. So yeah. If you do that, however, your beast slot cannot be Desperation, Double Brazen that is. If you run only one Brazen and Distant Counter, it still will work about the same. If you actually no, if you run your Pref weapon, you can run Desperation with Double Brazen and still lose no score. The only way for you to increase your score from Solitary Blade would be for everything to be 240 and then have DC on top of it. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So if you are dead set on using Vantage, I would just run Desperation and, you know, just go to town essentially. Moving on to Legiarn. I don't remember how to pronounce your name. I'm just going to call you DZ. It's gonna be a bit easier on me. I can't fuck up that part. I think it's 1 DZ, but I'm probably butchering that up. Okay, so for this Legiarn, trying to find it here. Attack plus, res minus, new and improved. Used in mixed team composition, any advice is appreciated. So, I do remember something about someone telling you, ooh, guidance as a seal is better. It's not. It's not. Your seal slot is important, but your seal slot is even more important. So, to put it pretty simply, you already hit what? Let's remove the seal. 60 attack and 48 speed. That's pretty good. Let's push that even further, shall we? As mentioned earlier, double brazen is a thing. 67 attack with 48 speed is definitely good. Especially with 40 defense, so, you know, hitting that, well, actually, 38 defense, my bad, I forgot the seal. Especially when, you know, hitting that brazen range is really easy. Desperation definitely works pretty well with this kind of set as well. Bonfire is also a pretty solid option. Another option you could want to run is Heavy Blade. But if you do Heavy Blade, you need to have someone with attack tactic on the team. I know you've said it's a mixed team comp, so probably is the case, but I figured I'd point it out anyway. Guidance as a C slot is so much better than a seal slot, though I want to stress that a lot. Seal slot has so much more versatility than C slot. C slots are mostly buffing, and that just kind of doesn't matter. Guidance is a really good C slot to have with a good depending on the team comp. And honestly, if you're not running Guidance, you're probably running Arena Flyer team. And if you're running Arena Flyer team, Goat, Fortify, and Own are probably your 3 options you're gonna go for. So yeah, this is definitely a decent set. Like I said, Double Brazen is a good choice. Heavy Blade is also a good choice. If you run Heavy Blade, do run Ignis instead, however, because Ignis is going to do an extra 30 damage, I believe. I'm just doing some quick maths. So, you know, I believe it would be 30.4, so yeah, 30. Not much else to say here. Everything else looks fine. And now moving up to Classy's Attack plus Lazlo. Okay, Classy Attaku. Or I believe that's Emmy in the comments. So, Attack plus HP minus. Own speed 2, still no own speed 3, hey? Get fucked, Lazlo. What did she have to say? Use my Lazlo, I'm pretty sure he's attack plus HP minus, but I'll update this when I figure it out. Oh well, I suppose it's attack plus HP minus. There are all the skills he has except for DB3, Brave Sword, and Axe Breaker. I'm just looking for a suggestion. He works pretty well, but I'm not sure he could be better on a budget. Well, I know I said this about yourself, and I'll say it again here. Armor Smasher. I would also say Speed Plus instead of Attack Plus would definitely do him better. Probably a Speed Refine can do better depending on the situation, depending on what you face in AA. The higher you will go, the more important defense gets. So early on, Speed is definitely a better Refine, but the later on, the more time you go in Arena, the higher you go in Arena, the more important Def becomes. So the more bulk you have, the more important the more consistently you'll be able to take a hit and just kill. Anyway, having Speed Plus and a Speed Refine would give you 38 speed with 54 attack. With obviously, like I said, an Armor Smasher. Armor Smasher will be able to take down quite a few units that matters. This is also one of the reasons why Tobin, of all characters, can be a really great AA unit. He comes with Armor Slayer. All you have to do is just awaken the Armor Slayer into Armor Smasher, and then maybe refine it. That's basically all you need to do. After that, you're good. You're set to go. Like I said, also, on speed 30 might be a bit of an option here. Seal probably, own attack would probably do a bit better as well. But that's about it, really. Not much else to say. It's just a change of weapon and maybe a change of IVs if you can get a speed plus. HP minus, Lazlo. Possibly speed plus, res minus could also be a good choice. Alright. Also, Swordbreaker will get rid of Zelgus as long as it's not specific sets that can just, you know, ruin your day with like extra charge at the start, essentially. Moving on to Kenzo Kodo and his Katria. This is a speed plus death minus Katria, and he had to say, I'm gonna change her to HP minus. Okay. 26, 25. I'm not too sure how much that would be helping you. Death minus seems fine to me. HP minus will make you frail against Zelgius, so I would definitely try to avoid that. Zelgius can hit 61 attack with attack plus at plus 10 with a legendary Ector next to him. Be always careful as a result, because, you know, there's always the possibility of, you know, having to deal with a Black Luna to the face, and you don't want that. Now the boon, that I would change, because you already have quick riposte. 41 speed is just overkill, let's be honest here. It's not a bad option, mind you, but there's no reason to build into that when your attack is this low. I would definitely go for attack plus. Probably attack plus a res minus, and then refine to resistance. That way you have a straight 26 defense, 26 res. With close depth, that's 32-32. With steady stance, that's 38-32. Seems good. Actually, no, since you wouldn't have death minus, that would be 41-32. My bad. 41-32 is pretty solid, actually. You can be able to wall basically anything. Myrrh is not going to be too big of a problem either. Despite being a fucking pest, as I found out last week in AA on my stream. It shouldn't be too bad. Attack is really your main issue here. 46 is not cutting it. Even with Reprisal Lens pushing it up to 52, that is not enough. Another reason why you don't want Speed Plus is because I see Gold Flyers here, so she's probably using a Flyer team. Now, that is not bad in itself. The problem is more so you will easily already get, you know, Gold Flyer support. If you have Gold Flyer support, then what's the point of adding an extra 3 speed to it? Even with 1 gold speed, you hit 42 speed. So, not much of a reason here. But yeah, other than that, I would say possibly change Moonbow to Bonfire. Would probably be a good idea, because you're going to hit 41 defense on enemy phase. This is mostly an enemy phase unit, I believe, at this point, because everything works only on defense and you're extremely weak on offense. But yeah, I just figured I'd point that out. You do lose 3 speed because I removed the refine. So you have 35 baseline speed. However, like I said, since you have access to goes, maybe you run 2 goes or a own. If you have a own, you hit 41 speed already, which is already pretty solid. So yeah, 41 speed is already solid. If you have a go, if you have like someone with drive speed on top of the own, you hit 44 speed. Drive speed being a seal, obviously. So you have 44 speed. 44 speed is more than enough. So as a result, when you get attack, I'm just considering own flyers and 45 flyers here, for just conversation's sake. You have 45 HP, okay? You have 45 HP with 58 attack, which is pretty solid at that point, with 44 speed with the drive speed, obviously. And then def you have, because you wouldn't be def minus 41, 47 defense. And your res would be 38. You become an actual juggernaut when it comes down to bulk as a result. 47, 38 is really bulky, and 58, 44 is pretty good offensively. So I'd figure that probably would be a better option for you. Other than that, not much else to say. I hope that was helpful. Moving on. Alright, this is Flux's Selif. It's something, alright. So, this Selif is rest plus HP minus. This set is like a not as good version of Ira, but he still has good enough bulk to take on a few enemies. He also has speed ploy to help him against people like young Tiki and Ira, but my team is usually all infantry, so pulse is nice. DC QR with Aether is the set, and I end up using it if I need to higher scoring or for PvE since it has more longevity. Okay, okay, so 39 speed. I don't know about QR at that point. 39 speed seems fine. If you have someone with, say, speed tactic, there's definitely no reason you should go out of your way to run QR because you already have 45 speed. Another choice you could run is probably drive speed on a character with drive speed seal. That's also 45 speed. At that point, no point for QR. The reason why I point this out is that way you can keep Raph. If you keep Raph with, say, Aether, you can charge up Aether if required and just proc it, essentially. This gives you a second option overall, so you can actually deal with other units that you would not normally deal with. Otherwise, you can also hit 63 attack with attack tactic if you are using a mixed team, but as you said, it's an infantry team, so yeah, let's say double drive attack, which is something a lot of people run, me included. You'd have 63 attack, 45 speed. This is already pretty solid for this set. However, I'm not too sure about Glimmer, because you get maybe 10 damage. In a world where you can hit 35 defense pretty easily, Moonbow might just be a better choice. It's a bit less consistent, but the unit that you don't get the consistency on doesn't really matter in the long run, because they just don't have the bulk to oppose you to begin with. Glimmer is a bit on the overkill side, sadly. But I suppose you might have a bit more experience with this set than I do, so I might be wrong in that part. Like I said though, 63 attack with 45 speed is definitely good with this kind of set. Personally, I would run Moonbow instead of Glimmer, but that really comes down to preference. Speedploy definitely would be a bit better here. If you don't have like double drive speed support or only want to run one drive, Speedploy is definitely a better option. I don't, like I said, QR is not that much better. As a matter of fact, it's just not better. But yeah, you kind of need Fury with this set, so I can kind of see why you would run QR with DC, because you kind of lose 3 speed as a result. That's still a very solid set. I really just hope Selif gets a new weapon soon. I want to build a boy. Actually, wait. Oh god, Leaf is the only children of the bro army, essentially, that is 5-star exclusive. I was like, or maybe I'm still gonna do a 5-star plus 10 and just say fuck it. I might actually just say fuck it anyway, because I kind of just like Selif as a character. But yeah. Now I'm thinking of how I want to build them. Hopefully he gets a new weapon later down the line, because turfing is not great. It's too reliant on mages. Well, divine turfing, that is. Base turfing is okay. I kind of hope it gets a refine down the line. Kind of hope Naga gets a refine down the line, and if it does, I hope Deirdre can be a big girl so she can actually get it as well, because I'll be honest, as much as I love Julia, I prefer Deirdre. Deirdre is fluffier. Anyway, moving on to a set I found in Arena Assault a while back. Though this was not the exact same set, but someone did point this set out. The set I found had Aegis and was able to actually, as a matter of fact, tank Celica 3 times in a row before fucking falling down on his ass. It took forever to kill him down. Actually, no, I think it took 4 hits and then more effort from other units next to Celica. This set is extremely slept on. Shield Pulse passive Bevis and Shield Pulse Aegis are insane on this guy, and honestly, he's probably the best user of this kind of set. Period. There's just no user that can actually do this kind of set as well as he does. Essentially, the way this set works is you deal with, obviously, 1 square unit, but what happens is they attack you, Pavis proc, he hits back, you hit him again, Pavis procs again because of Steady Breath. Now, another thing that could happen, say someone use a Brave Weapon to circumvent this. Doesn't even fucking work, because the first hit goes in, then the second goes in, and Irvin procs. So that's still an 80% damage reduction. You just don't have to deal with the shield pulse reduction. You see the fucking problem? There's just no way to not have 80% of your damage shaved off from melee foes. Range foes will do full damage, mind you, but if you're in high tier arena, you won't have to deal with these. Ranged units disappear. Outside of like the 1 or 2 range unit you'll find every like 10 fights. So this set can be extremely annoying to deal with, because Ike still has a lot of attack. This is neutral, mind you, but I just thought I'd point that out before going on the review itself. So, trying to find it. Did I even take notes? Please tell me I did. I'm a dumbass. Okay, 1 sec. Oh, I hate myself. Just need to find it. Give me a sec. It's getting there. My god. There was so many submissions this time around. Thank fuck for that, because not a lot of people actually mentioned like everything and fixed everything. Jesus Christ, how much high... There it is. Okay, this is the bike I have been working on merging up. He is neutral, he is the neutral one I got from the first Choose Your Legend. I actually spoke to this person and asked why it was still neutral. And the person told me that every single one of the Brave Ike he got was attack minus. Yikes. And all of those were Pity Fisters on top of it. Double yikes. Okay, so that sucks. But okay, so let's get over this. This is neutral, and I actually told him something about IVs on Brave Ike, and I figured I should point this out here as well. You do not, and I repeat, you do not want Res Minus on Brave Ike. Okay? Res Minus is a death sentence for the guy. If he gets doubled by even blue dragons, he's going to get killed at times if you go Res Minus. It's just a really bad IV on him. Take that from my experience. I used an attack plus Res Minus Brave Ike for the longest time, and base Naui was kicking my ass at times. And he's green. Now he's blue. What? So, yeah. Just keep that in mind. Now, what is the best Bane? That's quite simple. You want Death Minus. You still don't want to go Speed Minus, because that does enable a few nasty dragons to double you. And if they double you, well, that's bad, obviously, considering his res is still low. Death Minus is by far the best Bane you can go for him. This goes in the same kind of logic as before when I mentioned how Ares really likes to have Death Minus rather than Res Minus. It's quite simple, really. Death is a loss, yes, but it's not a big loss, and HP minus can be really bad in general. You could go HP minus still, but again, it comes down to res, and it's just like res minus, you can't just accelerate your way to death as a result. So death minus is like the most throwaway stats he ends up having. Now, I'm running a +5 Brave Ike now, and he's attack plus, obviously attack plus death minus. I was lucky enough to get pity fisted by a good IV on him, actually, that was optimal, so that was great. That was great. But yeah, other than aim for death minus and attack plus, one or the other or both, admittedly that's on the best case scenario, this is pretty good. Like I said, just avoid res minus at all costs. HP minus is also an IV I would avoid. But yeah, that's just me. Shield Pulse can actually let him tank a fucking Black Luna, I believe, depending on how you use it. Because the thing with Black Luna is it's reliant on Zelgis's attack. Now say he has 61 attack, which is like the worst case scenario. Sorry about that. And he does proc it. Okay, 61 attack against Brave Ike becomes 73 because of Combat Triangle. Which, that's dangerous already. 37 defense. That goes all the way down to 7. So 66 damage. You'd think he'd die, but then Pavis procs and the 66 damage goes all the way down to 28. Yeah, this motherfucker can just tank Black Luna like it's nothing. Just thought I'd point that out because that's kind of hilarious in itself. 36, 18, that becomes 13. 13 plus 28. You actually can tank both the first hit and the Black Luna at the same time. The only way for him to get fucked up by this kind of set would be to, for Zelgis to run Special Fighter instead. Which is genuinely just much easier to deal with because what you can just do is let him attack you. And then you break him in two. But yeah, just a really strong set. There's a lot of shenanigans you can do with Shield Pulse, and this is the type of... he is one of the best units to pull those off. Anyway, to move on to Color Craze with +10, yet another unit. This is Halloween Mia. She is attack plus, death minus. Okay. That is kind of a poor IV. Before we start, let's just find what he had to say. Color Craze. Any skills that could perform better, she is used with a mixed team. Alright, obviously you want her to be buffed by Death and Rest tactic. Now, if you don't care about score, ignore this part. Or actually, no, still do. Death minus is actually horrible on her, so I would actually go to res minus. Res minus is a super vein and kicks her down to the 149 BST slot, I think. But it's better for mixed bulk overall. Essentially, what this means is quite simple. You end up having 26-28, I believe, which is just much better mixed bulk wise. Or you could go HP minus if you care about arena scoring. But yeah, just thought I'd point that out. Again, sorry. I seem to be getting down with a bit of a case of a cold. But okay, you are using Razzle Dazzle, Physics Plus, and there's a problem here. You are using a Brazen skills with Razzle Dazzle. When is Brazen ever going to proc if the enemy can't hit back? You certainly have the bulk to not get hit back. Why not run Desperation instead? Because right here, you gain nothing from this. It just makes your A slot a dead slot unless you let yourself get hit by a unit. You have to understand this. This doesn't help you in any ways. At this point, even attack +1 is a better A slot because that would actually synergize better. If you reuse Desperation, keep in mind you have 63 bulk against melee, so certain dragons like Grima will one-shot you unless you fix those IVs. But otherwise, yeah. Like I said, Desperation would do much, much, much better because as a result, you can just take a hit. Then you're in brazen range, which means you have 56-48, which is already much better. If odd attack wave procs, you jump up to 62-48, which then you become extremely threatening. But it's all about getting into that brazen range. Dazzling is not going to help you. Healers can indeed use Desperation, believe it or not. I know a lot of people don't expect that because it's clearly a B slot made for damaging. But you can. You definitely can. You did say it was in a mixed team, so I'm guessing you're running Def and Rest Tactic. Hopefully, because 63 bulk is a bit iffy at times. 69 will make Desperation a bit more consistent, obviously. As for the special slot, I would definitely replace that, actually. I would change that to Miracle. There is no reason to run Imbue in my opinion. Imbue is just a bit inconsistent. Though I guess I can kind of see why you'd run that because physics do not heal enough and Brazens don't even buff how much you heal. An attack wave does, but 27 is still a bit iffy, especially since that would only be the case all of the time. So yeah, Miracle is definitely a better special. Desperation is definitely a better B slot here. Not much else to say, really. The speed +3 seal is not great for scoring, but it's definitely your best bet if you actually want to double before you get in brazen range. Unless you have a speed tactic already. If you have speed tactic, you already have 44 speed, which is decent enough. But yeah, you could also still use, if you have speed tactic, if you're running speed tactic on this team, brazen attack res, definitely a good option here. You would hit what? With odd attack wave in mind, 69 attack. That hits the sex number. Anyway, but yeah, 69 attack with 51 speed with speed tactic and brazen active. I say that's a good change. That's a good change. That's a good set. Ugh. Hopefully we get more brazen skills because brazen attack def as a seal would definitely do you better than attack res here. Just so you have 30 defense and 32 res in case of. Do keep in mind, I would say Martyr is better for healing, but if you do not feel confident enough and you don't want to just even have a shot at healing yourself outside of brazen range, then don't bother. Physics will do better. Recover is a better heal, but if you really care about staying far away from the enemy, physics is definitely just there for that. I believe that's that, so let's move on to the attack plus def minus Florina from Dol. Okay, here is my Florina that I recently built with DC from Hector. Attack plus def minus. Might switch over to rest plus speed minus. I used to run Braveland's Brash Desperation build, so that's why she is attack plus and has def ploy. Yes, I know S runs that set better, but I like Florina and I want to eventually merge her for Zaza Emblem, so I think this build will be her best. Okay, Houston, we have a problem. You focus too much on res and you're killing your defense. Def minus res plus is honestly a bad idea. You're making her too much of a focus tank. In a team where your Sophia would definitely be in, I believe. That, if memory serves right, she is drawn by Zaza, right? You want to make her a mixed bulk, in my opinion. This is her best set, if I'm being honest. I would definitely run Attack Ploy, but I would go Def Plus instead of Res Plus. Def Plus, Speed Minus. Do you know she has a super boon in defense? So, okay, she would have 29 defense, 38 res, then you change the refine to def refine, you have 33 def, 34 res. This is already good. 33 def and 34 res is definitely solid. Now, when you get a tag, that becomes 3341. Okay. Steady Stance could be a good A slot, pretty accessible because of, you know, Silas. So that would be 3941. If you run Def and Res Tactic, that would be 4547, which is already extremely solid. And if you, well, that's 4547. You could run Guard as a B slot and Quick Riposte as a seal. If you don't do this and you want to favor even more bulk, run Close Def instead. That way you can hit 51 defense and 53 res. At that point, you're completely walling Halloween not Nowie, what the fuck? Halloween Myrrh. If you're on guard, you can even wall out Zelgus. You could also change your lance to Slaying Spear to completely destroy Zelgus with this set, with him having no way out but dying like a bitch. Other than that, like I said, Speed Minus is probably the best baiting one to go with. For the special, Glacies maybe? Though Iceberg is definitely still good. Iceberg will proc every time you get hit twice, as long as there's no guard on the enemy side or special fighter. So yeah, that would be pretty good. As I said, Attack Ploy would probably do better as well than Def Ploy, because just to maximize that bulk potential. So yeah. Pretty much all I have to say. 34 res can be a bit iffy with ploys though, so yeah, but keep in mind, this is the stats that I've been mentioning up to now are unmerged. So 51, 53, then you just add on top of that the merge, that's what, 55, yeah, 55, 57, which is really good. And then on top of that you can just deploy becomes extremely consistent because you have a base of 38 resistance. So obviously, you become extremely bulky. You can still run this DC instead of steady stance and run distant defense if you want her to be a blue DC unit. But otherwise, not much of a reason for it, honestly. It's just kind of there. But yeah, I believe we'll move on. Just figured I'd point this out. I think you did tell me something about Attack Ploy on your Sophia on the first episode? I think it was the first. So I figured I'd point this out. If you have Attack Ploy on someone on the team already, then Def Ploy might be a better option then. Otherwise, Attack Ploy is a great option here. Moving on to this. Okay, this is R-O-A-G-C-L. There we go, fuck it. I'm not fucking saying the name. This is his Halloween Myrrh. Now I'm trying to find what he had to say about his Halloween Myrrh. Where is it? Am I fucking retarded? I think I'm retarded. Aw, oh, damn it, I'm retarded. Okay, 1 second. Oh, there it is. I tried doing a fake prefect for him because, you know, any change or suggestion would be nice. Okay, Steady Breath, Spirit Breath, and Guard. Personally, I would keep Vengeful Fighter over Guard. But that's just me. I can definitely see Steady Breath and Guard working well together, but that kind of just kill her base weapon effect for the most part, because you gain not much on the player phase, which makes her less scary overall. It's a bit of a problematic stat spread, obviously, because this is attack minus, and HP plus doesn't really help you at much things. Even though I listed this as attack plus HP minus, I'm fucking stupid, okay? Kill me. This definitely can work. I don't see much we could do here. I would say Vengeful Fighter would be better as the B slot so you can run Heavy Blade. The reason why you want to run Heavy Blade, of course, is so on initiation, when you're doubling, you can just attack, get hurt, proc Bonfire, something like that. Where on enemy phase you could do Steady Breath, get hit back, get hit back, and then just proc. Bonfire would be great if you want to have a player phase set or a mixed phase set. Otherwise Ignis will do a bit better, but that's just me. Heavy Blade can be a bit iffy, obviously, but if you buff your attack a bit with like double drive attack and attack tactic, you should be fine. Especially in arena where you get 4 attack and then you summon or support her, you have already 57 attack as a result. But yeah, outside of that, you'll need attack tactic and double drive attack to be consistent at the very least. So do keep that in mind. But that's just what I would do personally. Not much else to say other than this, so let's move on. So, alright, I got 2 left. Let's start with this one since that's a bit of a quick one. Let me try to find it. I did keep the fucking I did keep it, yes. Ah yes, there it is. Here's one of my side projects. Our current IVs are Def plus Speed minus, aiming for Rest plus Speed minus. You should be a Dancer Marth with defensive drive support, drive set. Another set I'm working for is with Barrier Blade and Attack Def Speed Dance skills, buff sets. Our team is with Leviathan or Nephany, plus somebody with Res Tactics Seal. My problem are the refinement for Katomatsu and Barrier Blade. Wanted to go either Def or Res 1. Okay, so Barrier Blade already gives you 7 res. So at that point, just go for more Def, so you have 44 or 41. So Def plus for Barrier Blade and Res plus for Katomatsu, personally, is what I would do. Definitely aim for mixed bulk, and I can definitely understand why you would go Speed minus, so you can keep more bulk when it comes down to HP. So, okay, I can definitely see what you're doing working, actually. I really want to have Katomatsu on my own Olivia, but I suppose it will come down to, is New Year going to treat me well enough that I can actually go out of my way to pull a second New Year Camilla, or not? And probably not, knowing my luck. So that's probably gonna be something I'm gonna have to skip, but oh well, not much I could do here. Honestly, if they ever demote Lene, I'll also switch to Lene for my main dancer, so. Because I just prefer Lene as a character, so. If they do demote her, they hopefully will do it before New Year's. Aiming for Rest plus Speed minus, I wouldn't do that. You already have, honestly, what would be the best set for you. Def plus is just better. 44-41 and then 40-38 is fine. Having more depth in res is honestly the best way you should be doing things. Obviously mine ends up being equal in both, but if I had to choose between the two to have a stat over the other, it would be defense. Having res plus would not really help you there, because all it would do is make that 34-30 into 31-33. Having that much more res would just complicate things further. That's just me. And now for the last one. This is an attack minus speed plus Fey, which ironically was the IV I had on my first Fey until, well, on my Fey period, until the Fate banner summon that I did off stream, which I actually had good luck in. I know, shockers. Let's see. I know it's somewhere. Was I being a stupid dumbass again? No, it was the first one I did. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so it is from Darky, and he says, "Hello Jay, it is me again. Since you helped me a lot with Saber, I will be glad if you could help me with my Fae, where I am in a little conflict to what to go for. As you see, she is a debuff specialist. I want her to debuff the enemy and then abuse the debuff and abuse the possible buff of the enemy with a monstrous bow. She's attack minus speed plus because IV on 5 stars are so hard. Yep, I know the pain. Question is, what IV should I go for and should I swap stuff out? The bow will be monstrous bow. Or monstrous bow, as he says. If you want to go for debuff, and by succession, just be a better tank, I wouldn't go for monstrous bow personally. What I would do is give her Clarissa's bow. Clarissa's bow has built-in attack smoke and speed smoke 3 in the bow. So the reason why you would want to do this over, well, monstrous bow is that your C slot and seal slot are completely open as a result. You could run close defense as a seal afterward, or distant death seal as a seal afterward, which means you would be a bit more bulky as a result, and that would be more consistent than monstrous bow ever could. That's not to say monstrous bow is a bad bow, it's just that if you're going for a debuff utility, killing both your seal and C slot for it is kind of expensive. Clarissa's bow would just do you better here. Other than this, I would say maybe Death Smoke or Rest Smoke as C slot. Rest Smoke definitely not actually, because that requires killing a Grima, and you should never be killing legendary units, if I'm being honest. Death Smoke, I believe, has been re-added to the pool lately. I'll actually have to check because I'm not too sure. Well, those are not skills I tend to use myself, so... Nope, Spring Alphonse is the only one that has it. Never mind. I have no clue what type of team you're going to be using her, so... Using her hint, rather, so yeah, I would say... Maybe run even Death Wave. I think that's the one that Silas is running, depending. That is, if you don't already have Death Tactic. If you already have Death Tactic to buff her up, which seems to be the case in the picture, actually, I'm fucking stupid. Maybe a Drive would do well. If not a Drive, a Ploy. Attack Ploy would definitely do well. But at the same time, if you have Attack Ploy and Clarissa's bow, that would be kind of redundant, wouldn't it? So really, your C slot would be probably better used to buff your entire team rather than anything that she could gain from it. Outside of maybe Deploy, because that's more consistent than Chill Def. But other than that, like I said, Clarissa's bow would be a better bow, and then close or distant def, dependent on what you want more, would definitely do better as a tank set. Def Refine is obviously the refine you want to go for. Not much else to say. Faye is one of those units that is extremely reliant on IVs, if I'm being honest. If you could get like Def Plus... Yeah, Def Plus with Speed Minus, that would be best. Because you would end up with 48 attack, 38 def, 38 res, then you just slap something like Def Tactic, not Def Tactic, Distant Def or Close Def, and you could have like 44, 44 depending on the situation for unit you want. So you could just completely debuff the enemy and just tank a bit better as well. Just know that she will struggle in a lot of cases. It is Faye we're talking about. Honestly, if I could plus then her with like attack plus, which I actually do have now that I think about it, I would probably do it and run Brave Bow. But since I can't, it's like, eh. And again, she can't really hit 155 BSD. It's kind of funny how she has the most BSD of any archer outside of Jacob and Niles. Their Halloween version, that is. She's sitting at 154, can hit 155, sadly, but oh well, it is what it is. I believe that's all I can say, though. Not much else to add to this, so I believe that is enough for this week's Show Me Your Build. That was all 15 set. I was actually planning on doing 12, but then I was at 13 and I was like, ah, fuck it, let's do it. But oh well. As I said at the start of the video, if you have not been picked, realize that it doesn't mean I hate your build and I don't want to show it. No, that has nothing to do with that. It's just that I can't go through everyone every time. If I do, I'm going to just kill myself. This is a video with 15 units showcased, and it's an hour and 7 minutes. If I showcased everyone, that would be over 40 units. Yikes. 40, like, not 40 minutes, what the fuck? That would be 4 hours. So like, yikes. I can't just sit down and do this. Especially since it's kind of hard to always set up everything, but, you know. Believe that's all. I guess I should be working on the thumbnail and also record Navarre. Yay. But yeah, before someone says like, Jay, you don't have to force yourself. Whoops. Just know I'm not forcing myself. I'm still having fun doing this. It's just, it is a lot of work in a row. I'm just thankful there is a full week before the next banner, especially with how much I've been raped by the Halloween one. But, you know, I suppose we'll see then. Not much else to say, really. Join the Discord in the description if you want to add to the conversation and or, you know, just post builds. Do you know I'm going to keep it close until tonight at midnight? I'd rather have a bit of pause, essentially. But yeah, I believe that's it. So I'm going to be seeing y'all later. Have a nice one, everyone.